The Bassae Frieze is a high-relief marble sculpture in 23 panels, 31 meters long by 0.63 meters high, made to decorate the interior of the cella of the temple of Apollo Epicurus at Bassae. It was discovered in 1811 by Karl Haller and Charles Cockerell, and excavated the following year by an expedition of the Society of Travelers led by Haller and Otto von Stackelberg. This team cleared the temple site in an endeavor to recover the sculpture, and then, the process revealed it was part of the larger sculptural program of the temple, including the metal beams of an external Doric frieze and an over-life-size statue. The fine spots of the internal Ionic frieze blocks were not recorded by the early archaeologists, so work on recreating the sequence of the frieze has been based on the internal evidence of the surviving slabs, and this has been the subject of controversy. Archaeological research has determined that the site of the present ruin of the Temple of Apollo was in continuous use since the Archaic period. The existing temple is the last of 4 on the site and designated Apollo 4. Pausanias records that this last sanctuary was dedicated to Apollo Epicurus, helper-succorer, by the Thessalians, and thanks for delivery from the plague of 429 BC. The architecture of the temple is one of the most strikingly unusual examples of the period, departing significantly from the norms of Doric and Ionic practice, and including what is perhaps the first use of the Corinthian order and the first temple to have a continuous frieze around the interior of the naos. From the style of the frieze, it belongs to the High Classical period, probably carved around 400 BC. Nothing is known of its authorship, despite an ascription of the metal beams to Paeonios. Since refuted, the frieze cannot be associated with any sculptor, workshop or school. Instead, Cooper identifies the artists of the frieze on Morellian evidence as a group of 3 anonymous masters. The frieze was bought at auction by the British Museum in 1815, where it is now on permanent display in a specially constructed room, in Gallery 16. While the British Museum possesses most of the sculpture, 8 fragments believed to belong to the frieze are in the National Museum, Athens. Copies of this frieze decorate the walls of the Ashmolean Museum and London's Travellers Club.